Alrighty. Here we are again with development in Python for NiFi. Having ourselves a nice afternoon and some Diet Coke because everybody needs some caffeine. So today we are going to be looking at PRs. We are going to be looking at tidying up my Git repository and good day, Palindromicity. How are you? I hope you are well. Thanks for joining in. Shouldn't be too early for you, so that's good. Trying to get my camera better as well. It's looking a little bit like saturated at the moment, maybe. I'm not sure. But slowly improving this setup before I start on the next round of things with all of the Ansible development that needs doing. Hopefully the tunes are coming through in the background as well. Yep, looks like that's working today, so that's good news too. So, hey, cool. Our stream is up. Hurrah, hurrah. So, yeah, PRs, and the build is failing. I doubt it's failing, but let's go have a look. It's a good place to start. Make sure things are clean before we merge new things. The joys of open source development. Okay, well, actually the build is not failing. It just hasn't updated on the repo, which is... Or we just need to refresh the page. Let's go check. Nah, it hasn't refreshed the tag, but that's okay. It's not actually failing, so I'm not actually worried. So everything's great. Cool. So today, let's grab this PR that has been put in for fixing the model deserialization bugs. Totally useful thing. And it's deep in the API client, which means that it's going to hopefully solve all kinds of problems that we hadn't noticed before. So really great work from Matthew submitting this one. Much appreciated. So it looks like it's modified the object. The template has been updated for the new API client, as we discussed, which is great. And modified the test template. No, that's cool, because the template was incorrect. It was missing the snippet, wasn't it? Oh, do you prefer auto? Cool. Can do. Then tests are updated, which is great. Test that the deserialization works as expected. Good. And... oh, interesting. Was there a problem with the 6 string import? Oh, string IO. Oh, we won't need it anymore. Okay, I see. And then a test for file to dict and back again to make sure that the template works. This fixes the stuff inside the template that you were talking about, which is why it linked back to the API client here. So that all seems pretty legit. So what is this PR number? 236. I was just testing my my deployment host and my local checkout to make sure that everything was tidy, and it all looks fine. So if there's any problems, they will be because of the PR. So let's go and grab it using the GitHub client that you introduced to me recently, which is really helpful. Check the name again, 236. I think it's checkout. Wave the magic wand. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, I've got local changes to config. So let's just revert those, because it is just the IP address. Dumpty dum. Cool. All right. So let us put that back. Let me just go grab the IP address of the... Actually, if I just do a redo, we go grab the IP address of the test host again. I'm going to do it on another screen so you can't all see how messy my horrible AWS account is. It is over here. There we go. One secret test host. That's not actually very secret. I just don't want you to see the mess that is in my AWS account. I feel that would be not cool. Let's do a default test before we do a regression test. Ooh. Mac was doing some thinking there for a moment. Yeah, so let's just do default. All right, so let's run that test. I'll just go and close some background apps on my Mac while that's running, because maybe it's just getting a little bit sad on resources. It does that sometimes. What else is running that we don't need running? We don't need any of these things. Don't need that. Cool. Alright. Alright, so let's hope these tests run. I expect that they will, because I expect that you have run them yourself, Otto, which is you are a diligent and reasonable man. The other thing I want to do today while this is running, we'll skim over, is once this is in, I think based on the discussion that we had a little while ago about the workflow on the repo, I think we should fix it up. I've been meaning to get with the times and move from master to main anyway, which is where most of GitHub is going, and it seems reasonable to me. And reading about, I think that the workflow on the project is simple enough that it may be better just to do what we have actually been doing, which is essentially having the main trunk and then doing feature branches off of that and then merging them back, and then every so often tagging a release version. I don't think we need to get very complicated with release branches and, you know, a dev and a master branch and all that sort of thing. It just, there's not that much work that goes into this. There's not that many people contributing in parallel on things that are likely to clash. And it just makes the Git history a mess because I forget to do it properly. There's way more commits listed on the master branch here that really need to be. So looking at the various workflows people are using, the GitLab flow minus the release branches is not necessary. You think that we shouldn't, not until you stop supporting 2.7, so do you mean that you don't think we should modify the workflow until we stop supporting 2.7, or that should be sort of part of the process heading in that direction? Because I wasn't going to cut a 1.0 release until we started doing that, but I would like to change the workflow to be tidier. It has failed. Oh, it can't reach the host probably. Why can't I reach the host? It was reaching it earlier. Maybe my network security has changed. Let me beast that up. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, we'll need like a 2.7 mate branch. No, you're right. That's a good point. Yeah, so if we have main, which is what we're pushing forward with the releases, and then we do feature releases after that, and at the point we want to go to the next major version, drop Python 2 support, tidy a bunch of stuff up, then we'll want to keep a fork of it called legacy or something like that. I see what you mean. Yeah, good point. Very good point. I love it when my local IP changes. Okay. So this is really interesting. So about 20 minutes ago, this was working fine. It was connecting to the remote test server, running tests quite happily. Now it's insisting on still trying to connect to localhost, even though Ah, I know why. It won't have auto-uploaded the change. Deployment upload. Should really set that to auto-upload. There we go. Cool. Alright, it'll go and think about that. Yeah, picking a flow that works best for me. I mean, I think that a simpler one is best. I did that thing when I first started in the project in 2016 is I read a bunch of Medium articles and Hacker News and other crap. And everyone said, oh, you should totally do it this way. It's great. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? But now I know better. I'm like, actually, simple is probably better. And we're only ever working on one release at a time. And there's only 2 or 3 people ever working on it at once. So, so you have done both PR to master and having a master and develop with features off develop and develop to master as release. Yeah, I mean, both seem fine. I feel like one of them is the Git flow model, and then the other one is more like the GitLab flow model. I don't think we need the develop branch, is the point. I think it's simpler if we don't. I think it means I will, because I keep on screwing up merging and rebasing and stuff like that because I'm not focusing enough when I do it, which I think just messes up the overall project. So I think if it's kept simple, it's just one less thing to worry about when you're actually just trying to get stuff done. Usually in your free time, because open source often ends up being in your free time, although I am being paid today, which is a really nice perk. Alright, it is finishing its upload. Cool, let's try again. So this would go as 15.1. We'll push it to master, and then I think we will start the process of flipping master to main, which by all accounts is a straightforward thing. Now, why would this be failing? So this is running the local one there, local code version. It's got config running against the remote, but it is not connecting. Let me check. The remote is up. Here's our remote. Docker ps1say. Our VMs are up. Well, our Docker images are up, which we use for testing. So why is it not connecting to them? I mean, this was literally working 10 minutes ago. What else could be causing the problem? After this is enough to justify a release. I don't think it matters either way. I'm quite happy to do a patch release, so 0.15.1 to include your serialization changes, because those are hidden bugs. Hidden bugs are bad. People are getting an incorrect behavior out of the system or out of the tool. So I'd rather patch that as soon as possible than sort of sit on it and wait, especially as I know it's going to help you with the work that you're doing. Seems like a very reasonable thing to do. This is not connecting. I guess I can run it with additional verbosity to see why it is failing to connect to that host. Where are we getting up to? So it's our initial connect is the problem. Yeah, we can reach it. And can we connect without using tox? We can connect without using tox. Oh, I was saying that I think we could do an 0.15.1 patch release with this fix in it, because I don't like having bugs which are especially silent failures. So this was appearing to work, but actually dropping data, dropping information. So I think we should push it as soon as it's tested. I just have to figure out why the tests aren't working. I have to restart PyCharm. Sometimes PyCharm is stuck thinking it's running a different test as well. I just wonder if it's having a little bit of a sad on me. Come on, PyCharm, you can do it. You know you can. Yeah, no, the CLI is superior for a lot of reasons. I expect actually if I run this from the terminal, it will work fine. So if I do tox here, something about that test configuration is not, it's using the project default, it's not using any additional config. Yeah, looks pretty boring. Interesting, toxin run from the command line is not connecting either. Is there something with my toxin that's done this? No. Toxin dir is current path. But it's not using the config specified. No, there's definitely... so annoying when stuff like this happens. So it was working and now you're thinking, okay, well what's changed? I could just set up to run the test locally, but it absolutely chunks along. The same Python environment. They should both be using project default Python environment. So, yeah, project default. There's no working directory changes. There's no argument changes. It's all should be very, very boring, right? Using the same Python environment. Might have to boost the logging up a little bit. There is a tox logging control you can apply. I don't remember what it is. So this environment is definitely 39. I'm using Python 3.9 for it. And that is working. That's fine. So nifi.config.default host is correctly updated. I'm going to restart PyCharm because PyCharm has been giving me some crap today. For my various projects over the time. Alright, let's wake this back up. Come on, PyCharm. You can do it. Okay, so let's check from console again. Console is, let's find out. Console is fine. So, it does work. Network's fine. Let's look at this launcher again. So it's using the same environment. In a perfect world where you could get the AWS paid for, the project would have the scripts Ansible, whatever, to set up your test nodes and run the tests on those nodes. Yeah, I could probably do that. And there is a script to reproduce the AWS setup. But yes, then one has to have a paid for thing. My other thing I was going to do is just using my gaming PC, which has got plenty of juice to run everything locally. I mean, it's still a remote machine to my development machine, but it would be easier, I guess, than worrying about network stuff out to the internet. It'll be faster as well because it's running on local gigabit. I am just confused why this Tox environment here is not getting effectively the right version of the code. Maybe I have to do a Tox recreate. But that shouldn't be affecting it because the Tox environment is just a deployment environment. It shouldn't actually be a copy of the code, right? I don't think it gets put into site packages. Oh, maybe it does get put into site packages. Site packages is up to date. It's got the IP address. That's really weird. And it'll be really weird until I figure out why it's doing it. What a waste of time trying to troubleshoot why Tox is failing to run for me. Alright, so recreate the environment. So we set the default host in config. And contest pulls the test host from the default host and uses the test host to generate all the connections. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward setup. Not particularly exciting. Not complicated. Well, slightly complicated. But not that complicated. The default endpoint remains localhost. That should really be test host as well. So let's just make sure that that's consistent. There we go. Maybe that's... you know what? That might be from your branch, but I've actually changed it to master because I'm sure I had fixed that recently. Yes. That may be it. Rubber ducking is really helpful. It's really helpful having you here on Stream Auto for me to rubber duck while I do this. Thank you very much. Super useful. And you respond occasionally, which means that it's not even rubber ducking, it's actually interactive, which is kind of the point, I guess. Let's see if it works this time. But I've changed it after launching the command, so probably it will have cached the code already. So, that, and again. There we go. Oh, come on. Alright, I'll compare it with the branch and see if there's anything else I've missed. Compare it with... I asked it to compare with the branch, and it doesn't. Very strange. No, I don't want to compare it with another file. I want to compare it with git branch. There we go. So here's the API client. Conf test, Travis, because I added the parameters stuff. Yeah. And we've got test toast set correctly. Test parameter contexts are added, but none of this should affect what's actually happening with the initial tests not running. Okay. So test toast, test toast. These, that also has to be updated. That and that need to be different. Yeah. There we go. That was it. So the conf test in your branch for the PR doesn't have the couple of minor fixes I put in, so that test host is correctly picked up when doing test parameterization with PyTest, which is an absolutely trivial thing for you to change if you want to. But I think also you said you're busy today, so maybe not. But anyway, I'll test this now. And carry on with it, because that's a pretty trivial thing. Glad we found that. Can't believe it took me that long to look through it correctly. So I think I've already done that on next. I don't think it's been pushed to master yet. I don't know when it got introduced. So your PR is against master. If you've got a minute to just quickly update that and push it in to your PR, then it'll merge fine. Your PR is against master, and I will merge it to master. That's the flow we'll move to anyway. So for the sake of not making things more complicated, let's just do that in this case. I think we'll actually drop next using the new flow that we were just discussing earlier. And we'll move master to main, and then we will request that, and I'll write for the dev notes for contributions to say that all feature branches should be a branch off of main and then PR'd back. So if you look in the conf test file here, you'll see a number of these entries between line 54 and 82 will be localhost as a fixed value instead of using the test host. If you can just make sure that they use test host. The exceptions are in the registry endpoints, this HTTP registry and these other registry names you can see here. These are those names which are actually names within Docker. So those are very specifically supposed to be those names. Whereas the others should just be test host. Hope that makes sense. Cool. So the internal, the command line talks worked now. So let's go, I'll go and run the regression test on your PR. This should now execute correctly. There we go. All right, this is going to take a minute to run. So while that's running, let's go and check what is going on here. Yeah, cool. So test, test, test. Very important to run the tests. But in this case, it's particularly interesting because the changes to the API client, which is fundamental to all of this. And it's interesting we hadn't spotted it earlier. It's only when we saw this stuff with the template that you were doing, Otto. So now, hopefully we get no regressions introduced in any of the other processes tests we have. I'm always a bit careful making fundamental API client changes, but this seems like an edge case as it is. So I don't expect anything else to suddenly barf. At least hopefully not. Cool, that's going to take a minute. So let's go back to here. So we are going to change this. We should clean up all of these spare branches that are going on as well, because we do not need all of these anymore. And we should tidy up. And then we can just have our main and whatnot. Have a look at our release setup. Yeah, so we got v15. I didn't actually write up release notes for v15, I just published it. Suppose we could write up notes because then it allows people to see. So we'll do 15.1 and then we'll write some notes for it in here so people can get access to it. It should make people pretty happy. Cool. Alright, is there anything else? There's no other pull requests that we should do. Hey Freaky Tree, welcome to the party. Very kind of you to come hang with us. Just seeing what we're doing with the stuff on the internet, huh? But seriously, let's do a survey. How much do you love Python? Well, especially when it's like deploying environments and stuff for you. I think that's the main thing that everyone cares about, right? The thing about the regression tests is it tests every old version of NiFi that I care about, so it takes quite a while. Oh, over 9,000, yes. Good reference, very strong. And I haven't watched the new DBZ. You know that, like, there's a whole bunch of shows that are effectively reboots of old shows that I watched, like, way as a kid. Particularly Naruto. There's like Naruto Shippuden now, and people keep saying, oh, if you liked old Naruto, it's so great. I'm like, I mean, I don't really have time, but maybe I could. Okay, cool. Thanks, Otto. So if all these tests passed and that's just a minor update, then we'll merge from that. Thanks for coming to hang out, and good luck with the family time and the other business. Yeah, I mean, I need to really catch up on that Naruto stuff. I like watching the stuff when I have it on a sidetrack. I have been doing One Punch Man recently. Catching up on the manga. Because I love me some overpowered superhero with ennui. It's the best. Well, Freaky Tree, you turned up. And we had to talk about something while tests were running. So obviously we talked about horrible anime. Very good anime. Very serious anime, obviously. We could talk about like software development, but I don't feel like that is the most exciting of topics that anybody could be talking about. Because I'm not a great software developer. I'm just a sales guy who writes code to make things happen. At least I tell myself that. Alright, nearly finished. Well, Python 2.7, but if it passes on 2.7, I don't expect it to break on 3.9. Because there shouldn't be any fundamental differences to the way that strings are managed. So that is some good news. Super good news. Man, my laptop is chugging today. It is like super slow. Look at this. Wow. What is going on? Alright, well anyway, it ran. That is good. All right, let's go back to Zarepo and let's have a look at the PR. So he's just updated that. It's, yeah, Travis is going to attempt the build. Not too fast, I don't think it's going to break. So let's just check back through our files again. Whatever he's updated is not particularly problematic. Yeah, so I thought I'd already done this stuff, but obviously not. Good to know. These tests are also really good. So looking through the template, load the template, assert that it can be dumped as a file, load it in, back, validate it, and validate that the deep diff has no major changes, which is gravy. Deep diff is so handy like that, it really is. Cool, I think we should merge this. Because we already know that's gonna, well, we already know Travis is having a bad day. Let's just go and check on that build and have a look at it, because Travis has been failing intermittently. Yeah, so it's still booting this up. We'll let it run because that's the correct thing to do. And then we will look at sorting out our branches. Okay. At some point I'm going to have to update my Mac. I wonder if there's like a stream somewhere of people reacting to upgrading their Mac OS X, waiting for it to happen and making bad jokes about it. I feel like that's a thing that people would do because people love their Macs so much. I do not love my Mac, but it was free. Well, I mean, it came with the job. Not really free. Alright, so the Travis build is running. We're happy with that. Let us go and merginate our stuff. Cool. So various options around merging. Make merge commits. I like these. Let's squash a merge because that's what we have been doing thus far in master. Always good to show public appreciation. Do. Cool. Alright. A couple of years ago you installed Windows 98 on a VM and the setup process was so exciting. Not like the sleep loading bars of today. I guess back when like installing your own operating system was kind of a big deal because you had to have a stack of floppy disks as long as a baguette, it was more exciting. It was a more serious thing. It's like, oh, what happens if the last disk fails? Oh no, what will I do? It was much more interesting, wasn't it? I suppose Windows 98 you probably installed from a CD in your brand new CD-ROM drive. I bet it was like a 4x speed. So fast. So fast. Playing Civilizations. Because that's obviously what computers were for back in the day. You said to your parents it was for schoolwork, but actually it was for playing Civilization. Or at least that was my experience. I still like Civ, man. Civ 6 is great. Very dangerous way to waste a lot of time playing Civ 6. So let's jump off this branch. Jump back to next. So git fetch. So fetch. I'll stop trying to make fetch happen. Let's roll this stuff back. We don't need. Roly. Remove the changes I made because we've had the changes from the PR, so that is all good. chat. Time your dad installed a 1 gig hard disk on the family computer was amazing. Screwdrivers, cables, other cables. That would have been like spinning metal, spinning rust as well. So that would have been like loud. 1 gig. Yeah. That would have been a big drive actually. Like I'm thinking like 1 terabyte. Like no, 1 gig. What's this like, you know, early 2000s, I guess? Very serious. I'm considering getting like a 1 terabyte SSD for my gaming rig just to move the binaries onto so they load faster. That seems like a luxury still. Okay. Let's check a conf test. Yeah, like 98. So Windows 98, 1998 makes perfect sense. Should have realized that. I guess I'm not used to Windows and other operating systems having like dates. Although there are quite a few apps these days who just do like year, month, and then patch number release versioning, which I really like. So like, you know, 2020 12.1. To say, hey, this is the version we released in this month on this date. I feel like that's very easy to follow, rather than going like, you know, version 0.12.15 RC1 beta 3 test 2, which is good for development, but not really good for users to figure out what the hell version they should be installing. So yeah, all these test host changes are now in here. So if we run our tox on master, everything should work fine. Just check that before we start doing the thing where we switch master to main. Which is a good thing to do. It is good to move with the times, be aware of the wider environment. I think it's legit. So what is the haps with your Thursday, Freaky Tree? What are we doing in the 2-day? Oh, I need to set the IP again. IP. Boom. Alright. Check master again. And then we will start doing the migration fandango. Actually, I'm going to go and check out those commands. Cooking class. Oh, excellent. We're talking like, you know, some serious patisserie, or is it like some sort of interesting fancy family dinner business? Yeah, we all live on Zoom. I mean, I spend a lot of time on Zoom, and now I'm on Twitch as well. That seems like a poor life choices sort of situation. Oh, seafood chowder. Tell you what. There's a local fishmonger where I live, and I never go in there because the queue is always out the door, which is probably an indication that they're quite good. And we did a family lunch last weekend where I roasted a side of salmon, a little lemon, butter, big chunk of dill, just white wine, you know, the huge that you would do with that. And it was fabulous, like way better than supermarket stuff. Like it was flaky, the salmon flesh was buttery, melty. I only had to roast it for about half an hour, and it just came out absolutely gorgeous. And I will now not scoff at queuing for the fishmonger for some decent business. They also have smoked salmon, which looks like it would be the destruction of my life. I don't think I can actually afford to shop there very often, but I'm gonna try. Maybe, you know, I can have a birthday lunch, which involves making seafood chowder with stuff from the local fishmonger here in East Dulwich. All right, master has passed, which is great. That's what we want. There was a issue with security testing recently, but I'm not going to open that cat in the bag right now. So let's do the thing where we move the thing to the other thing, because it's the right thing to do. So you want to make a new branch. from a master with all commits. We will call it main. Good. Yeah, lovely. We can check on that, see that worked. Cool. We've got that config, so we'll just roll that back. I am reading instructions on another screen for how to do this. They're legit. Also, Freaky Tree, as you have the taste in the music, how is the synthwave? I feel like it's quite good background business. Makes me happy. So now we want to get main up to the, so we need to push it. Send that upstairs. Upstairs. Cool. There we go. That is all tidy. Now I am not going to delete master at the moment. We'll tidy that out later because I still need to flip GitHub over to use this branch as the default branch. So let's refresh. Chill hop. Interesting chill hop. So the thing with the music on the stream is it's a thing called Pretzel, and Pretzel is like Spotify for music that is not commercially licensed, so you can just use it on streams without having to pay for it, which is pretty cool. I have not seen them have a chill hop channel, but I can have a look. I can totally have a look. I'm going to do a search. No, I'm just getting album. I'm not getting actual chill hop, and they're calling it binaural beats. So I do not think that they have a chill hop station. Stick with synthwave for the minute. But I'll see if I can find some, because Pretzel is not the only player for this sort of thing. It's just one that I happen to have. So we now have main branch, which is good. If we go into settings, I believe that you can tell GitHub which is the default branch. There we go. So we will say main. We will say update. We haven't got any active pull requests. It is going to affect other people's clones, but that is cool. I'm not too worried about that. I think it's moving forward. Hurrah! And we should protect main while we're at it. So, branch name main. We should not allow force pull. And we should have a review. That's a nice simple setup. That seems good. Most lo-fi hip-hop has copyright material, kind of. Yeah, you're right. Like, isn't that the whole deal? Like, people do that and all of that happens. I'm just going to move this onto another screen while I type things. Cool. Hokey cokey. Back we are. Right, we'll see if we can get some other tunes next time as well. Okay, so that's in. So now if we go back, our default branch is main, which is what we want, and now we'll do some cleanup. So we are on main. Let's have a look at some of these other branches and remove them. So we don't need these various update branches. We don't need that one. We do not need these other ones. Various PRs from the past. It is good to tidy up. It feels nice. It feels nice to tidy up. What we just did. These are some bits I was playing with. So I'm not going to use next anymore. but we are going to merge in the stuff that I have been working on in Next to make sure it's not lost. So let's check this out. And let's do a get push. We'll update that we have removed various branches, I believe. Could do. Let's refresh that and check. Page refresh. What is the thing to clean deleted branches off the remote? No, we don't need to do that at the moment. Okay, so let's look at Next. Now the easiest thing to do would be just to compare this with main to see if there are any major significant changes. So there with branch main. There are a lot I've been doing. Dev notes, yes, the API client is so what I should do is I should rebase this on main, force update Next to only have the changes, and then we can go ahead from there. So let's tidy up the thing, tidy up the other thing. So I do that. I want to do rebase current onto that, and I want to accept. I want to merge. I think I want to accept mine. No, I want to accept from main because main already has that stuff. Yeah, because this is where I screwed up merging a while ago. So let's have a look. So on the left we have Next, which is my local. We have main. We definitely want the stuff from main in these occasions. So I think all of this is actually in there. Yeah. This is why the old workflow I was using was a very bad. Yeah. Those are the actual features that were added, which is good. Okay, let's have a look at the difference. So next, this was the port changes from main, so we want to accept theirs again. I think in almost all cases we're going to want to accept theirs, but it's good to check. Here we are checking again, so this is the port stuff that was done, and we'll check the Docker Compose situation. Probably I was updating versions, yeah, updating registry versions. So cool, we should accept theirs in all cases. Check again, yep, once again. Ooh, change configuration somewhere. Oh, this is just bumping the version to 1.12, so that is also correct. Should definitely be doing that. And this will be the version bump commit. We added the parameters feature. Yeah, cool. So we accept that. That is also up to date, so that's great. Hello, Melon Lake. Welcome to the party. Thanks for joining in. You like port? Delicious port. I also actually really like port. Sunday, there was port very much involved in my Sunday lunch, which came after the wine, which came after, well, with the salmon. There may have also been coffee at one point. I think that seems very reasonable. You may not even actually be talking about port, the alcohol, but I assume that you were. This is the Czech version code, so that is the correct one to have as well. Good. Right, so now we've rebased, is what we want. And we want to check the Git history here, and it's going to be a mess. It's going to be an absolute mess. Yeah, it is, because we've got all of this crap that's now in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to squash all of this. Just check we haven't lost anything. I don't think we've lost anything. We need to reload from disk. Why does it think that there are unmanaged merge commits? You are weak, so you don't drink on Sundays. Yeah, I mean, I was having a family lunch. We felt that it would be appropriate. We're also sort of celebrating my birthday, which was earlier in the week. Good luck with the meeting, Freak Tree. Thanks for coming to hang. I mean, who does meetings on a Thursday afternoon, honestly? But good luck with it. We appreciate your time coming to hang out with us. So what is going on here? Why have we got some errors? Yeah, so that will raise an assertion error because these are errors. It's just detecting that there are errors. That's kind of weird. Let us have a look at that Git history. So we're going to have all of this crap in the Git history, which is fine because what we're going to do is we're going to just get rid of it. Get rid of this next branch. Let's check that we haven't broken anything in that rebase. I do not think that we have, but that's cool. Okay, so let's just make some notes here. Delicious, delicious lunch. Oh, hey. Oh, yeah. Have forgotten to set the thing again. Interesting. So, no module name future. That is a thing which happens when you've got the wrong Python client running, but we have got the right Python client. Let me do a tox recreate, but let me also just reconfigure the test services while we're doing cleanup here. Pop. Yeah, good. These are all good. Nice. We might have to do a tox recreate. Just because I've been bumping around between branches, which is the whole point of getting rid of all of these extra branches. We don't bump around between them because it's a mess. It's a mess. Oh my god. Come on, run some tests. Nope. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't think it's a virtual environment. So what we can do is we can just go, hey, tox recreate. And it will blast them. Which is good and tidy. And how are we doing for time? Oh, hey, we're at an hour. Cool. Doing our thing. Tidying up some GitHub. I did an experiment today as well, seeing if this would stream to YouTube. And I don't know if it actually is. So let's have a look while we wait. YouTube. Oh wait, no, that must not be my channel. Yeah. No, I don't think that's going to come up. Right, we'll leave that for later. Alright, we are reinstalling. Come on, laptop, you can do it. It's not that hard. There's not really anything else running as well, so I'm kind of like surprised why the laptop is chugging. I'm going to have a look over here at my activity monitor. See if there's something running in the background which is just destroying everything. OBS is running. OBS isn't chewing up that much resource. PyCharm and other stuff is running. Docker is chewing up a bunch of memory, and I'm not using Docker, so let me kill Docker. Maybe that'll help. Maybe there's a bunch of other stuff going on. Alright, tests are running. We are not doing regression, which is fine. Man, I love that squid you've got there, flank stack. That is seriously awesome. Emoji powers for the win. I mean, I should have expected that you would know how to find things like that. You are the master of these services. Thanks for dropping in to say hi as well. Much appreciated. I'm sure you're only here to give me crap. Oh, because I can get emoji packs and stuff, right? I can get like, people can like post stuff and have a funky chat. I think like, maybe I should spend some time setting up the channel to be more exciting and interactive. That would be good. Not just frantically writing Python to automate things for people. Yes, we do need flank emoji packs. That would be a great idea. If anyone can generate a hype train, it is you, buddy. All right, that worked fine. So that is cool. So I am going to do the thing, and I'm going to force these changes up to the servers. Force push origin next. Resolve this. Yeah, good. Oh, followers. Oh, hey, look, we've got a spammer. Yay! My first spammer. I feel so special. Oh, multiple followers. Multiple spammers. And now the auto mod is not catching them. Usually auto mod is pretty good. But it is not catching these ones. Which is pretty disappointing. I'm just doing a little administratio here. There we go. Kicked. Kicked from channel. Ye old ICQ style. Yeah. Twitch probably does have like mod automation stuff you can do to avoid stuff like that, but I guess I was sort of trying to get it set up and I haven't spent much time optimizing the channel for that sort of thing. Okay, so we've pushed next up to the repo. We've done a force push, which it's going to end up being a bit messy though, I think. So if we go and look here, it's just going to show a ton of commits, which is all of this mess that I caused by screwing up my commit history, which is a shame. I guess I could go and prune it all out, but I might just do a squash commit on this because I don't want all that history polluting things. Let's go and look at the changes. Oh, and I know what I'm going to do as well, because I remembered this is why I didn't set branch management before. It was because I couldn't review my own PRs, which would obviously be very annoying. So let's go and have a nosy at what's going on. So moving from Python. It's big enough to read on the screen. Let me boost it a bit. There we go. That'll be better in channel. So, moving to Python 3.8.3.9, good. Added some notes, dev notes, good. We added parameters support, which will make a lot of people happy. This is the inclusion of future in the requirements, just for re-raise to get a better exception output. Which should be a real improvement in the newer versions of Python. So I think people will appreciate that. We've added greedy controls for get processor, which some people asked for. And asserting that people are providing the correct information to get processor, because there were some errors. Some people were reporting some trouble in the Slack or NiFi about that not giving the result they expected. Doing a better filter, that is what we want. Return none if we do not get a result, yeah, rather than throwing an error. So that is this is interesting as well. So part of the contract I established when I built this is that if you request something that does not exist, you get a none rather than an error, because sometimes you're just trying to find things. And that was not correctly implemented in that particular one, so I'm going to keep that. Yeah, correctly controlled there, refresh. What I might need to do actually is generate some new commit notes if I'm going to do a squash commit, because this is a lot of feature changes. Get controller, because people requested it. Yay! But that is controller type. Yeah, so this is for generating new controllers. So that was requested, so that's good. Controller and parameter controls, excellent. And then a whole new file, the parameters implementation that people requested, which I think actually should help you out, Mr. Flankstack, for doing the automations. This is just improving the error handling. It's fine. Yeah, so this is the raise controls as well. We shall automate all the things. All of the things should be automated. Some better doc strings. This is just improving my coverage for doc strings. Enforce version controls, because we need that for parameters. You can't use parameters on versions that don't have the things. New article for the updates. Yeah, I was thinking I'll make release notes and then I'll write a bloggington about it. Welcome back, Otto. Thanks for coming to join again. I've merged your PR to master while you're out. I have converted master to main, and now I'm taking all the changes I put into next to implement parameters, and I'm going to merge those as well and then do the release. So we get a whole bunch of toys. Moving Docker to 3.8, yes. Tidying up deployment. Fixing up conf test was in this as well. Is good. A parameter context for testing. These are the various tests, particularly the processor tests. Big parameter test file, and we're done. So then everything there. Yeah, so main is now the default branch of the repo. So if you flip over to that, then you should be in a pretty good state. So what I'm going to do is open this pull request. And what I will do is I'll make the notes here. So I'm going to open up a notes file. Over here. And we'll just write some better commit notes to tidy up this mess I've made. The joyous sublime text. Everyone loves sublime text. So we're going to switch Python increment Python 3 support to 3 3.8 and 9. Wow, that is really tiny. There's no way anybody viewing this video is going to be able to read that. Lol. Improve dev notes. Add parameter support. Actually, what I could do is I could just go and copy this out of the various commit histories rather than typing it out again. That would be smarter, wouldn't it? So what I'll do is I'm going to put this on another screen. Just copy pasta over there. So grab the first one. Let's grab the previous one. Yeah, so these are very old. That's the config control that fixed security.py. That was basic horse back in the 14 release. This is me fixing my commit history. So I'm a terrible human. Go to the last release. And what was where did I get up to on those release notes? Yeah, so that was registry 5. So this one, let's go to that commit and yeah, that's fine. I want to know what the commit. Oh, interesting. There's no notes on that one. Okay. Update Docker helper versions. Yeah, that was that one, but this was 15. So if I go look at my commit log for 15. Way. Yeah, too many notes, man. So that's why I'm not deleting master just yet, Otto. I've just switched the branch over. I'm going to push this in, and then what I'll do is I'll do a patch update to this with all of the changes for main before we think about removing master, because I need to update the dev notes and the contributing notes and all that sort of stuff to point to it as well. I just want to get this next branch tidied away, because it is gross. I've duplicated so many commits through breaking the Git history. Yeah, the GitHub default is now set to main. I believe that's the key thing to do. That commit note needs to be kept. Yeah, so people should see main. If you refresh the NiFi page on GitHub, you should see the main branch now, rather than anything else. Now I'm just cherry picking commit notes. this mess I made of this. It's terrible. I got this one. No, this is new. Add refresh default. Yeah, we've got that one. Okay, I think we've got all of our notes now. Okay, cool. So what we'll do is we'll make a merge request, PR, sorry, from next to main, and we will update. We're going to squash those commits, but we will update. Updates. Updates for 0 to 15.1 release we'll do as a top level comment. Now let's format these up. So let's format up these details now. So we add a refresh default, add convenience methods. So we add parameter contexts, yep. Brief linting. Add greedy control, forget processor, that's important. Refresh default, yep. Now this is a duplicate. From the context, yeah. So I think I can really compress all of this down and just say add a parameter context support. I don't need that. That was already done in 15. We'll say that this releases add support for parameters, which is what we aimed at doing, plus minor fixes. It's true. We'll take that and put that down here. Cool. Good. Let's create the PR. And then all those 30 commits are going to get squashed away because we don't want to we do not want to have that filth added to the main branch with all the mistakes I made around merging and whatnot. We have tested it, so we should be fine to merge it. And then what we'll do is we'll go and do the documentation updates before we do the commit around the version bump, because we have to change the version bump anyway. We always tag that commit. I'll show you why. So, almost out of caffeine. All right. So we know that the Travis CI build is going to take forever. Because always does. But we also know that it's going to work. So what we can do is while that's running, we can make a start. No, we shouldn't make a start. We should wait till it's in main and then we should pull down main. Get rid of next. We push next, which is good. Well, actually what we can do is we can make a start and then on a new branch from main. So if we go to main now and do a smart checkout because we still want that config to be available to us. And then we can follow our new process. So we make a new feature branch from main. And we go, call it update for main. Update release for main. Okay. Cool. All right, so let's do some tidying up. So we don't need that. We will need to do docs stuff. So let's start with README. Let's just go straight into edit mode. And let's have a read through. I mean, I suppose we could just search documentation for any mention of the word master. But let's just have a read while we're here anyway. And parameters, which is now true. Yeah, interactive environment is great. The F2 register is what we want. We talk about this. We talk about installing. Talk about configuring and using. So that's all very exciting. So that needs to change to main, because that will be where it is now. We need to update this. So 1.12.1. Registry versions 3 to 7, because those are the versions we do now. And issues register, we should update this, so 3.8.3.9, because we don't really bother supporting the most recent versions. Okay, so that's the main README updated. I think that's legit. Let's have a quick look in docs. Docs. So imports README, correct. Oh man, this old to-do list. I have not looked at this in a long time, because we've just been using issues anyway. And look at some of this stuff. And that's cool. Some of these ideas I had back in the day. Oh, well, we did that one. Woohoo! Yeah, it points to the issues register. I'm not going to delete any of that, because I should actually look at at some point. But not right now. I should make an issue to examine the to-do list in the docs. Let me do that. That is a good idea. So issue. New issue. Review legacy to-do list in docs and clean up into issues for current actions. And I will assign myself to that, because that's just some good housekeeping. Hey, cool, yeah, tidying stuff up. Love it. Installation guide does not need to change. That will be main now. That will also be main now. Cool, easy one. Index, there's a bunch of these. There's no direct reference, so that's fine. History, we will need to update history for this release. So let's do that while we're here. 015.1, and it is 12, and it is the 3rd of the 12th. Yes, all right. Improved parameter contexts, or include patch from at auto. Let me make sure I've actually grabbed your GitHub handle correctly. Would not want to offend by grabbing the wrong handle, man. That would be just the worst. To resolve serialization issues in the API client, specifically with templates, specifically impacting templates. Yeah, cool. Migrate master branch to main, update docs, and default GitHub branch. We're also going to say there's a new Git workflow here, but I don't think that's a release note. That's fine, that can just say it like that. All right, that's super uninteresting but important. So dev notes, testing notes, Docker test environment. Here's that script we wrote for it. Generate Swagger client, uses Swagger registry. Release process. Let's add a new thing here for what would say collaboration workflow. We aim to run a simple version, a simple variant of the GitLab flow model, where the main branch is the operating main branch. No, let's say it's a different way. So let's say for new features, please make a feature branch from main. When it is ready, do a PR and request a review, and it will be merged with one of the main devs. Releases are tagged to the main branch commit they are generated from. This is a simple project, a small team, so we aim to keep the Git flow simple as well. Great. Any questions? You can find us in the Apache NiFi Slack, dev mailing lists, or contact us using the repo contact details. Cool. All right. So a little update there. Nice and tidy. I mean, that's part of. Oh, should probably been contributing, shouldn't it? Durr. Let me check if this actually contradicts what I just said. This was like a generic thing. Yeah, well, that will be a branch off of main. Use tests. Hurrah for tests. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, it's the same detail. That's fine. Cool. All right, so that's done. This is the configuration for Sphinx. We don't need to update any of that. Authors. Oh, I haven't updated this in a while. Should definitely put you in here, Otto. So, do you want to be Otto backwards as a contributor? Because that's hilarious. Or maybe we should put you down as something else. Like this. Lol. What is your GitHub user details? Use that unless you tell me you want something different. Yeah, cool. All right. Thank you very much. Definitely should be in there. Love it. Definitely been putting in the work recently to help out. So, well, not just recently, but over time. So it's very much a thing that should be done, and I should update these docs more often, if I'm honest. The API reference is auto-generated. The Git ignore is baked forward. Do you prefer your Apache email or do you prefer the Gmail? I think the Apache palindrome is a strong one to have. Let's put that in. Okay, doing Gmail as instructed. Can do. Okie dokie. So that's that updated. That's the docs updated. Tests are there. We've updated the notes. Let me just do a search for the word master just to see if I've missed any. Yeah, so that's our notes. That should be main. Very good. Actually, we can just do a find replace using master and main as required. So we don't care about that. We do care about that. Oh, we do want to change the stock. Yeah. All requests should be made against the main branch. Yeah, cool. Okay, let's go back to our find replace. This is the true open source work, right? It is the boring, doing the administration, making sure the tests pass, make sure everything else works, right? That is. Yeah, so replace that one, that's good. Ignore that. Ignore that. That's our note. All right, we are up to date. Are you taking the piss, sir? Are you in fact taking the piss? Yes, I could do much more exciting work, I'm sure, but this is the stuff that needs doing. All right, so let's commit these changes to this branch. Update docs for move from master to main branch nomenclature. Not that anybody uses the word nomenclature anymore, but hey, why not? Just check that I haven't changed anything else. That should not be in there. Great. That control. Docker file, yeah, that's correct too. That's correct. README is updated. The versions, say that update README to reflect newer supported versions of NiFi and Python. Be good, all very tidy, and we'll push that to this new feature branch. I'm saying it out loud so I check that I've actually got the right workflow that I said I'm doing is what I'm actually doing. So let's go back to here, and we should find that the build is passing for main, but we may find that something, oh, what failed here? Let's have a look. Git fetch orange. Probably because I merged it while I was trying to run the test. Let's go back to the new PR. Go to this one. Look at this build. It's still showing yellow, so it's probably still trying to do it. Let's view this one. Hasn't even launched yet, which is an annoyance. Yeah, it's just queuing it. I mean, this is the free Travis, so the fact that it's not gone through yet is kind of, can't really complain because it's free. People complain about free open source. That's, you know, a bit rubbish. Cool. Well, we know the build works anyway, so I'm not too worried about this. It's a pretty minor detail. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna move to a new build and process, right? As we discussed, getting rid of 2.7 and moving to a 1.0 release. but there's enough fix-ups in here that I don't want to just merge it without having those tests complete, just to make sure I'm not doing anything stupid. It is nice to have it tested on 2 different build environments, right? So my local Docker, well, my Docker on AWS, and then the Travis deployment, which uses a similar but slightly different process. And it does sometimes catch things that I don't, because it instantiates all the environments from scratch. So that's kind of not terrible in that way. Check this commit message again. Yeah, so that's all useful things. I think I want that build to finish before we do anything with it. So we'll go check on it. Still hasn't started. We're also running up on well over 90 minutes in this session. Is there anything else we can do at the minute that is going to help us while we do it? So the next thing we want to do, once that's tested, we've got these little changes here. We will want to bump version, so we can go and start following our release process for this stuff to go back into main. We can do that. Now here's a question: should I run the release process against the feature branch that is going to become the next version, or should I merge it and then run it? This is so this process is not yet documented, because I'm still working out the best way we should do this. Or are you talking about documenting all the things we want to do to head towards a version 1? I think we should do the bump version everything on the feature branch, because it is the commitment to that new version. Yeah, so there is a release process in the docs, which is to update the history, check various requirements, you're fully up to date on your commits, then run tests, tocs, check the docs are building, check the build works correctly, run the build in a separate environment to make sure that it imports without any mess, then push the various bits and pieces. So there is a process here. What I should say in the notes is whether this runs on the feature branch or whether it runs on main, and I think it should be the feature branch. Bump version is here at the front. I think it should run on the feature branch, because if I need to do any additional commits to fix anything that is being broken, then you still want to be on the feature branch for that, and then you can squash them in rather than having that clutter up the main branch. But I want to have the other code in before I run all of this, because it's kind of pointless otherwise. So this is still going. So we're kind of at a pause while we wait for the tests to complete. And I think there's no point in sitting on the stream and doing that, because it gets kind of boring. So what I might do is end the stream, usually land the PR. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Okay, so land the PR on main, knowing that it's all good, and then doing the bump release on main and push. So that's kind of what I'm doing in this, and I see your point. So there is the PR 239, which is the add support for parameters, which I'm waiting for the test to complete so I can merge it. That'll be then on main. What I'll do is I'll then I've made just a tiny branch here to update all the docs and stuff for the movement from master to main. I'll add that in and merge that to main as well, and then we can then we can do the release. So, assuming those tests complete quickly, we should get 15.1 out for you today. I'll do it after the stream because I think it's going to take a while for those tests to run on Travis, and I don't want to not do it. Oh yeah, so a difference, yeah. Do you have a GitHub org for your things? Oh, and use your GitHub account to actually do it. Yeah. Yeah, this is just a personal repo. But I do want to... Oh, do I? I'm not sure if... Yeah, okay. So separate accounts for separate things. I'm with you. Palindromicity is the org, right? Okay, that makes sense. It seems like a nice way to separate out what's done where. I'm not sure I want to do that. It may be what we decide to do as we restructure the project to be more streamlined. But I'm just thinking about the way to move to main here and keep it tidy so that when you want to do a feature branch and a PR for some updates and then we do a release, it's the least number of steps, the simplest number of steps. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a fair point. I mean, I'm not going to critique your workflow anyway, but I get your point that because you've got two separate things going on, you're moving between them. In a way, I'm trying to reduce. I mean, I've been doing that with branches, and it's only made a mess. I don't feel like it's actually enhanced the project in any way, which is why I'm getting rid of it now. So I think we can do that. So let's just see, has this finished? If it hasn't finished, I think I'm going to close down the stream now. I'll go and make some tea. Then I'll come back and finish the release once the tests have passed. I'll keep an eye on it. And what I'll do is I will ping you on the Apache NiFi Slack when it's ready to go out. And then you can grab it and do your business with it. Sound good? Cool. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out, man. Thanks for coming back after your mission earlier. Thanks also to the others who came to hang out. So Freaky Tree and Melon and Flank. Good to see you guys. Have a great afternoon. I'm going to go and make some tea and keep an eye on this. And then I will do some other code and we'll see you next week. Cheers.